Chapter 9. The Flight. From the far end of the palace corridor leading to the Chief Steward's chambers, could be heard the reverberation of a militarily precise crunch of armored feet marching on marble floors. Members of the Monarch's royal guard escorted Diodi to his quarters. Oto-Mani was right next to Diodi. Of course, as Monarch, he was not under the custody of the guard, but with Lord Ko-Toure as Acting Regent. Oto-Mani commanded more respect from the soldiers than he had authority over them. Because Oto-Mani publicly declared Diodi his beloved, the captain of the guard did not insist that Diodi's hands be shackled when they arrested him, and his amulet of state was removed. None of the soldiers knew what deference was due to Oto-Mani, the monarch in limbo, nor Diodi, his homosexual paramour. It was all so confusing to veteran warriors. As they rounded a corner, Diodi dropped back a little to say to Oto-Mani out of the earshot of the guards, "Did you have to hand your crown over to Lord Ko-Toure? Was there no other way to defend me?" Oto-Mani replied, "I'm sorry, my emotions consumed me. But also, the Great Mother gave me multiple signs. I chose to obey her." Oto-Mani quickly explained his visions. Diodi grunted, "Well, I guess. Now what do we do?" Oto-Mani gritted his teeth to say, "We wait until we are in private." Diodi rolled his eyes. The guards were purposely taking a route to the Chief Steward's quarters, where they would encounter the least amount of palace foot traffic from officials, other soldiers, and servants. This did not mean, however, that they could avoid the very savvy Lady Olaria, who discerned the pathway they would take to the Chief Steward's chambers. As they crossed the veranda of the great royal garden, she stood off to one side holding a large parchment in her hands. Glowing with an irresistible beauty, Oto-Mani could see why his elder brother selected her as his consort, even though he was a gay man. Oto-Mani signaled for the company to halt, and the captain nodded to extend him that courtesy. With a cat-like smirk, she addressed her almost brother-in-law and his lover. "Your Majesty, Chief Steward, it would appear that if I miss just one day at court from morning sickness, I miss a lot." Oto-Mani chuckled. "I guess news travels fast." Diodi just shook his head. Olaria replied, "Yes, bad news travels fast." "Well, I won't detain you, but I have something to give you." She rolled up the parchment she held and handed it over to Oto-Mani. One guard moved to intercept the handoff, but the captain barked, "Stand down, soldier. We are still in the presence of our sovereign." Accepting the parchment, Oto-Mani said, "Thank you, Captain." Oto-Mani and Diodi both gave Olaria a kiss upon her cheeks, being careful not to squish her ever-expanding belly. Oto-Mani placed a hand on her belly. "Blessings upon you, my dear lady, and upon my heir." Olaria sighed. "Sire, just be careful so he does not need to reign before his time." He chuckled again, this time very loudly, and then the party set off again. Oto-Mani unrolled the parchment while walking, and saw that it was completely blank. All the same, he rolled it up and stuffed it into his robes. Behind the refuge of the Chief Steward's chambers' locked doors, Oto-Mani and Diodi were able to talk freely, intimately, with their robes undone. But before Oto-Mani said another word, his eyes fell anew upon Diodi. Everything about the coffee-colored man who stood before him, with his splendid red robe undone, enthralled Oto-Mani. The intricate tapestry of his long-plaited hair, his large golden moon eyes with their gentle walnut-shaded pupils, the heart-shaped curvature of his head and sharp angle of his cheekbones, the fleshy symmetry of his ears, that perfectly matched the pink corpulence of his generous lips, his tawny neck and brawny shoulders, his sleek breastbone, the radiantly defined and smooth curvaceousness of his chest and his rippling stomach, his pouty brown nipples, his powerful athletic arms, sinewy at every turn, and all the other parts of his lover's svelte physique, his shapely, plump buttocks, his exquisite muscular legs, beautiful feet, and his alluring nutmeg-delicious manhood. The latter parts Oto-Mani could not see, but he would soon. For now, he just blessed the creation before him with a kiss. The architecture of his lover's body was breathtaking. Oto-Mani gave Diodi a lascivious grin, and while wrapping both his arms around Diodi to squeeze his behind, he muttered, "Well, maybe we can put all these mysteries aside and relax. Do you want me to cover your Orbani, sweet man?" Diodi felt a tingle, but he rested his folded arms on Oto-Mani's chest in order to gently resist his lover's embrace before he could share another thought. "No lovemaking before you ask the question that I know is on your mind. Beloved, we already have enough mysteries," pouted Oto-Mani. "No, ask it. chided Diodi. Okay, if the man in that Oto-Mani that murdered my brother is not you, then who is he? Do you have a twin? No, I was born an only child, Muzi, I told you that before. He must be an imposter, obviously. But who did they find to so perfectly impersonate you? So perfect that my late brother mistook this man for you. And this is why this is an easily disproven lie. Why would my brother have you as a lover, if it was an open secret that you were my lover? You certainly blew the cover of the open secret. I know. Are you still angry with me? No, of course not. For now, he rewarded Oto-Mani's courage and sacrifice with a quick peck and continued. But those who you very hot-headedly referred to as wolves and vipers don't need a lot of logic to get in the way. They are even more furious with you now, beyond their anger over the Freedom Decree, and they will do everything to permanently remove you from the throne. They will just reason that I tricked your brother to fall in love with me, and killed him so you could succeed him as monarch. Yeah, I guess that works from the standpoint of our enemies. And you're right. Me calling the privy counselors and the others as wolves and vipers made things worse. I've been told I inherited my hot temper from my iron-fisted father. Well, fortunately, you inherited your heart from your wonderful mother. Diodi puckered his lips and unleashed his pent-up desire upon Oto-Mani's mouth. And your mouth and body from the gods. It would have been prudent for Oto-Mani, as Diodi's court advocate, to begin to try and construct evidence to prove his lover's innocence. But desire is a greedy and jealous god. They dispensed with their robes and climbed into bed. Eagerly Oto-Mani climbed into Diodi's arms, his buttocks pressed to Diodi's thighs. He reveled in the feeling of Diodi's hardened warmth up against him. The way their bodies were a perfect union that transcended their present circumstance. Muzi, Diodi murmured, his voice barely a whisper, thick with affection. Diodi traced a finger along Oto-Mani's jawline, feeling the warmth of his skin beneath his touch. He captured Diodi's hand, pulling it to his lips, pressing a soft kiss against his palm. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, the weight of their circumstances dissipated. Oto-Mani leaned in, brushing his lips against Diodi's in a feather-like caress, further flaming a desire that surged through their manhood. Oto-Mani's breath quickened, and he tilted his head, inviting a deeper connection. Diodi lovingly prepared himself and Oto-Mani so he could painlessly and pleasurably enter him. He did with a sigh. As their lips met, the friction of their fleshy bond deepened, merging tenderness with passionate urgency. Oto-Mani pushed up against Diodi while Diodi's hands roamed over Oto-Mani's chest and nipples, exploring the contours of his body, as if trying to re-sculpt every curve and line. With every swift motion, he pulled Diodi in closer, their bodies melding together in titanic, pleasurable clashes. The world beyond their bedroom vanished as they surrendered to their desires, to each other, the weight of the crimes committed against them, momentarily forgotten. Two lovers lost themselves in a dance of fervent lovemaking, their hearts entwined in the sanctuary of their desire, embodying a connection that defied time and circumstance. In each other's arms, they slept after sweet releases. They found a world where nothing else mattered, a love as fierce as fire gold. An hour after they had fallen asleep, their peace was rudely upended.
Sovereign, your majesty?
It was the voice of the high priestess. Oto-Mani nearly jumped out of his skin. Nasty spit-sucking hell, he cursed. Damn, if I have one more mama figure disturb my thoughts or my sleep, I will die. Oto-Mani violently smacked the mattress with his fist, and then puffed out exasperation. Diodi's personal Oto-Mani was no longer its usual black opaqueness. A lucid image of High Priestess Kala Sonora stared back at them. She wore a mystic black robe, as well as a peaceful smile, though her brow and her eyes were lined with worry.
1,000 pardons, your majesty. I did not mean to disturb you, and, she swallowed, Master Diodi.
Diodi gave a playful but an annoyed salute to her image with 2 fingers at his temple. Then he remembered he and Oto-Mani were stark naked and pulled the bed sheets up to their chests. What could you possibly want, High Priestess? Oto-Mani could not hide his irritation.
I am communicating with you this way because there is no other way to reach you. Lord Ko-Toure has posted guards at your door who only obey him.
She uncrossed her hands and leaned forward to add emphasis to her next words. She spoke in a low tone in order that the guards outside did not overhear her.
Please, sire, you must flee the capital city before Lord Ko-Toure and General Usalada arrest you too as a traitor to the ancestors. They intend to pin the assassination of your brother, not only on your beloved Chief Steward Diodi, but you as well.
What? They would not dare. Then he remembered Diodi's wisdom and instead asked, "What should we do, High Priestess?"
As I told you earlier, sire, there is a mother crystal that you must seek, to which I think the prophecy refers. I'm certain the visions from Mother Oto-Mani are calling you to find this crystal, and I believe finding this crystal will give you control over and solve the mystery, the lying crystal of Ko-Toure no Duro and Bada.
Oto-Mani sucked his teeth. I just know that Pemjinok worked some sorcery to devise such a crystal. Kala Sonora shrugged.
I do not believe a crystal can be falsified, but I believe the mother crystal will solve this great mystery. Do you still have the map I asked Lady Olaria to pass along to you?
Map? She gave us a blank piece of parchment.
Please go get it.
Oto-Mani hissed irritability, but he sprang out of bed. The High Priestess blushed at seeing the beautiful nudity of her handsome sovereign, but she turned away to hide her grin. Oto-Mani and Diodi quickly located trousers and retrieved the map. We have it.
Good. Now unfold it and go hold it over an open flame. Don't worry. It won't burn.
They did as they were instructed, each holding a side of the large paper. After a while, the sepia color of the parchment darkened, but before it blackened it revealed writing. On one side was a map of a secret labyrinth that appeared to run behind several royal bedchambers, including this one, to tunnels and catacombs far below. It pointed its bearer from one rounded doorway down a long corridor to a second rounded doorway. On the other side of the paper was the last blessings of the celestial sister written in ancient Rakanese script, the prophecy.
Now quickly dress in plain robes, take that map, and stand before the back wall to the right of the chief steward's bed.
Both men shot confused looks at the High Priestess, but still they obeyed.
Hurry, I sense they are coming.
Once they hastily dressed in robes that Diodi owned since he was a teen, which meant they were either tight or shabby, they stood before the wall. The High Priestess was nearly breathless from anxiety when she said,
"Repeat these words, speaking into the wall 3 times. Anoika Sardi Yom."
The two men dutifully chanted, "Anoika Sardi Yom, Anoika Sardi Yom, Anoika Sardi Yom." Upon the third incantation, a portal swiveled open in the wall. The enormous, polished marble stones scraped against each other to geometrically fold in a way that revealed a mysterious circular entrance.
Now go, and may the celestial sisters keep you safe.
Suddenly, the crystal went dark as though the High Priestess had blown out a candle, providing light inside the globe. Oto-Mani and Diodi leaped through the portal, and before their feet touched the ground, the portal swiveled shut, solidifying again into a smooth marble wall. They thought they might have heard voices on the other side of the wall, but they scurried forward rather than investigating.
Now, good people, please like, comment, and subscribe to catch the next thrilling episode of Red Circles of Fire.